The Goals program is a 2 or sometimes 3-day CBT-based intervention that helps people to get more of what they want and less of what they don't want in their lives. It's based on what we call the habits of success. You know, over time we've identified that there's certain things that successful people do that make them successful, and there's things that people who are failing do that lead them towards chaos and unhappiness. And so what we've done is kind of distilled that information into an entertaining multimedia experience that people go through to take a fresh look at themselves and to decide whether what's showing up in their life at the moment is what they want to continue having show up in their lives. So it's giving people an opportunity to learn something about themselves. Often people learn as much about themselves from the others in the group as from the person facilitating the program. But it's a multimedia experience that people go through in a group over the course of 2 or 3 days, where they begin to learn about themselves and they begin to become clear about what's working and what's not working for them. So we work with a range of different clients. We work with long-term unemployed people, we work with people who are homeless, we work with people in recovery, we work with people within the criminal justice system, and long-term unemployed people who maybe have health-related problems or they've just completely lost their way. The common element that we find amongst all of these groups of people we work with is that they're suffering from low self-esteem. They don't really believe in themselves. They've also fallen into the trap of blaming others for their situation. They're really not taking responsibility for their lives. And so what the Goals program tackles head on initially are those 2 pillars of self-esteem and responsibility. So in the past we've worked with a lot of agencies within criminal justice, but Goals hasn't really been bedded in. Part of the REACH program, when I initially met Carrie, you know, I made it really clear to her that if we're going to work together we need to really bed this in properly. And I was really impressed by the fact that she brought together her senior management team and we had a whole day for her to understand what Goals is and how each of the components, so there's the delivery of the Goals program to the clients, which fires up the clients and gets them to think differently about who they are and what they want. But the second part, which is equally important and often missed out, is the training of frontline staff. So we've put pretty much all of the frontline staff within the REACH project through our GRIT coaching training program, which has given them more strength and enabled them to actually work seamlessly with the clients once they come off the Goals program. And the third element is the ongoing consistency in terms of the language and the whole energy of Goals. So when we've got those 3 components in place, you get extraordinary results. So Goals enables frontline staff to work with clients at a much deeper level. It tackles head-on the issues of learned helplessness. We've created a kind of a welfare state where people expect something for nothing. And that's one of the big challenges today, particularly working within criminal justice. The other issue is immediate gratification. I want it and I want it now. And what we help people to understand is that you only get out what you put into this life. And so over the course of the 2-3 days, people are beginning to realise they need to take 100% responsibility for their lives. If they want different outcomes, if they want their life to be different, then they need to behave differently, they need to think differently, and they need to do different things. And that it's a journey, and that what we want people to do is to get on that ladder, to get a job, and any job. It might be volunteering, it might be work experience, but we give people the confidence to know that actually once you're on that ladder, life is much easier. You know, you can then work your way up. You're much more attractive to other employers, etc., etc.